Mark, I decided today was not the day for a joke, but instead a day to say thank you. In 1978, John Carpenter created a low-budget slasher movie, one of the first of its kind. It went on to spawn numerous sequels, various timelines, and an army of loyal fans to the franchise. Apart from three, Michael Myers has been the centre point of all of these movies, and built around that, without a doubt, he is a horror icon, an absolute icon. So today, after all this time, I want to say thank you. Thank you. It's finally fucking over.
I thought you were genuinely being nice then.
No.
I should never believe that would be the case.
No, not at all.
Before we forget, you want to die tonight?
Hypochondriac with asthma is in there.
I just lose all sense of equilibrium and I don't know what's happening.
I'm going to say 9 out of 10.
Always enjoy watching it every time.
Windmills were fire hazardous.
You literally used the paycheck to pay for a house. That's all it was for.
Meeting someone for the first time, you wouldn't be talking like that.
Because he was so stoned, he'd like half fallen asleep.
You and Tasha are meant to be. Y'all figure that shit out.
I just got fired yesterday. I'm free.
I swear to God, I'm gonna stick that whoop up your asshole.
Hello, welcome to the You Run podcast. My name is Scott.
My name is Marc.
And you are listening to the only horror movie review show completely run and controlled by all of the listeners. I'm sure there's a lot of new people listening this week. Not quite sure why, but I bet there will be lots of new ones. As you are new to the show, it's completely run and controlled by the listeners. As I said, you pick the movies through our Instagram polls or straight up by calling the show and telling us to review a movie. We give you a brief outline of the movie before we take a full dive into everything. We have regular guests too who bring their opinions and take part in our latest quiz, Evil Audio. There's lots of ways you can get involved. You can follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Twitter. We're at You Run Podcast on all of them. You can also join us on the Discord server from the 1st of November. And in there, we'll be giving you exclusive stuff like our calendar and other bits like that. As I said, you can call the show. You can do that by going to our website, yourunpodcast.com, where it's got a little button that says record as a voicemail, or you can send me a voicemail DM on Instagram. Pretty much every way you can think to get involved in the show, you can. Now, as I said, we're often joined by guests, and today is one of those times. The guest is a listener favourite who gets requested on a regular basis from listeners to bring this guest back. She's got an incredible YouTube channel, amongst other things like a podcast, multiple social media accounts, live streams. Pretty much, if there's anything to do with horror, this girl does it. Every possible way she can. A huge horror obsessive, and someone who I hardly ever agree with. So this should be interesting. And if you haven't guessed already, we're joined by the wonderful Angel from Voices in the Mausoleum.
When you said people asked me to come back, I was like, are you sure I'm the guest for this show?
Yeah, no, I get requests. I quite often get requests for guests, and you're one of the ones that's like, when's Angel coming back?
What?
Ooh.
Oh my God.
Yeah, people like you. I think people like you because you really disagree with me a lot.
Oh, well, yeah. Mark part 2.
I think that's what it is. When you're on, it's you and Mark versus me.
And that's what's funny.
Yeah, and people like that dynamic.
Well, cool. Well, I'm excited to be here for this one. So thank you so much for the invite. I'm excited.
What have you got going on at the moment, Angel? Have you got much going on?
I always have much going on. Well, I'm trying to think of what's changed since the last time. I think I have more regular content up now than I did the last time I was on. So I originally used to only have like Tuesday videos, and then like sometimes I would have like a Thursday collab video periodically, nothing crazy. But now I have a bi-weekly Monday, every Tuesday, every Friday, every Saturday, and rotating Sunday episodes on YouTube only. I don't do podcasts anymore. I didn't get a lot of traffic, so I just decided to focus on one thing. And so now I have everything on YouTube. But yeah, so now I have like a Monday morning musings series that I do bi-weekly on Mondays. That's my friend JR from Horror King TV. We talk for about 15-20 minutes roughly about really random horror topics. As you guys are aware, that happens a lot when you're talking horror. So I thought, why not do a series about talking a bunch of random stuff? And then, found footage Fridays. My Saturdays are reserved for horror movie reviews, which was something I was doing, on the podcast that now is on YouTube only. Tuesdays are mixed things still, interviews, conversations about series, comparing movies. And then alternating Sundays, I do spooky Sunday stories. So I read shorts or like a chapter or two from books from horror indie authors that I'm friends with over on Twitter. And then I'm in the process of getting ready to get back into doing my Voices in Steve Talk horror collaboration with Steve Talks Books. So soon to have more Thursday videos. So
you're not doing too much then at the moment, are you?
No, you're fairly quiet at the minute.
Quiet period.
I'm glad you're here, though, because I don't know how Mark's going to react to the movie of today, and it would be nice to have someone else to maybe control him or calm him down. Speaking of Marc, he offers us a recommended account of the week every week, and he scours the web looking for someone to recommend. And right now, he's looking down at his notes, ready to do it. This week, I'm switching it up a little bit. So I'm going to recommend an account instead.
Oh, that's all right by me.
Recommended account of the week.
Now, I could have asked Marc to recommend this account, but he would have been so reluctant to do it that it would have been a battle that I just couldn't be bothered to have. So I just took it off him. So my recommended account of the week this week is MW Horror Reviews. MW_horror_reviews. Marc, you listen to every single week, and he plugs our content so hard, but I think I should plug his content. Marc is a movie critic with a difference. So Marc will review movies that 90% of us have never seen. Things like The Bride of Satan, Final Scream, Taxidermia, some of his more recent reviews. He also scatters in some classics in there as well. If you're like me and you spend hours trying to find a movie, follow Marc and literally scroll on his page for 2 seconds and you will find something to watch or something to avoid. Because when
I was going to say, more so these days, it's things to avoid. I don't know, I'm on a bad streak at the minute.
But Marc's account is fantastic. I love it. And before Marc was even part of the show, I was following his content and liking his stuff and commenting on his stuff. And his account is so good. So it's at MW_horror_reviews. And that's on Instagram.
That's very sweet of you, man. Thank you very much.
He's buttering you up. Don't touch it.
I don't. I know. You lured me into a false sense of security, and I don't like it.
As you will have probably guessed from my opening joke today, we're returning to Haddonfield one more time to see an old lady try to raise a difficult granddaughter, a boy with some anger management issues, and the much-loved return of a very missed radio station. We also get an old dude in a latex mask who's not as stabby as he once was, as we take a stroll while he contemplates retirement and letting some younger blood take the wheel. It honestly gives me a huge pleasure to bring you our review of David Gordon Green's Halloween Ends.
It's been 4 years since Michael Myers vanished without a trace.
Hello?
Certain that I saw him watching me.
You pretend like you moved on, but you're actually just obsessed with death.
What are you gonna do when Michael comes back for you? Because he is coming.
But this time, something feels different. He's more dangerous. He killed my daughter. But tonight, I will kill him. Come and get me. Maybe the only way he can die is if I die too. It all ends now. You
We kick off each week with the listener scores, and it's done on average. You score out of 10, and this week you scored Halloween Ends 4 out of 10.
Holy shit, really?
This is not a score I wasn't expecting at all.
No.
It absolutely blew my mind.
Not even the worst of Halloween films score that low.
No, and to hide what people were scoring, instead of putting the sliding scale on Instagram like I normally do, you had to comment in a box. And when I went in to see all the comments, it's like 1, 1, 2, 1, 5. Yeah. I was like, wow.
It's a very, very divisive film, isn't it?
It is. So we're going to talk about it, and we're going to give you our scores at the end. And big spoiler, I did not score this a 4. The movie opens with a radio broadcast talking about Michael Myers, and we see a boy arrive at home. I was getting serious H3 vibes here straight away. I was like, oh, yes.
Yeah. It's immediately, you know this is a different film altogether.
Yeah. The boy we meet is called Cody, and he's been asked to babysit a kid called Jeremy. I'm going to say, I could be talking out of tone here, but the mum was thirsty as fuck for Cody.
Same thing.
Did you really? I've
when
seen
she
it
was
3
like,
times.
I need to tell you something. I was like, where's this going?
Yeah, she's like, I need to talk to you. She's like, come to bed, eyes, and I had him up and down. I was like, wow.
I did not pick up on that at all.
I did.
She explains the whole Michael Myers thing last year, and that's exactly how she describes it. That whole Michael Myers thing. Jeremy's struggling to sleep, and he's having accidents wet in the bed. He's also scared of the dark. Cody's a really cool guy. He's like, no, it's just normal kid stuff. Don't worry, we'll be fine. And the mum and dad fuck off to a Halloween party. The kid, Jeremy, absolutely rocks. This kid is so cool.
This little fucking asshole, man, honestly.
He's such an asshole.
What a little dickhead.
He is an asshole, but he made me laugh so much. So they're sat watching the thing, and it gets to the point where the scene where the head is pulling off the body in the thing. And Cody's like, I don't think this is appropriate. Maybe we should play hide and seek. And he basically turns around and goes, fuck your hide and seek. I'm watching the thing. Also, I don't want to be your friend. I don't have to be your friend. You're just some sad asshole who's babysitting me.
You ugly ass boy babysitter.
And it just literally, I just like, I love this kid. I don't want this kid as my own, but this kid is awesome.
My favorite line is the one where he's like, he doesn't kill little kids. He only kills babysitters.
Yeah, and Cody's face is like, shit.
And Cody reacts, I think, the same way that me or Mark would have reacted with, well, oh, fuck you, you'll go to bed in 10 minutes. The earliest time I was allowed to put you to bed is when you're going. And he wanders out to the kitchen to cut himself a slice of cake and get a drink. As he picks up the knife, there's a bang, and Cody goes to investigate. And this bit here, I was like, oh, shit.
This opening sequence is so fucking tense, man. I had no idea which direction it was taking. I had no idea where it was going. And the whole time it was playing out, I was like, fuck, what's going to happen? Who's that? Is Michael in the house? You just assume Michael's back, and you're like, shit, Michael's in the house. What's going to happen to this kid? Has he killed the kid? Where's the kid gone? I thought it was brilliant. I thought it was so well done.
Really, really. And they build tension through this. So, like, Jeremy goes in, and the lamp's knocked over, and then he starts to search, and he walks through the kitchen. You see him glance over, and the knife that he picked up to cut the cake is gone.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this isn't looking good. And then he hears a bang upstairs and a scream for help. He does not run up the stairs as fast as I think he should.
I don't even really know if he should be running up those stairs at all.
Yeah,
I'd get out of that house, man. Fuck that kid. Yeah. That kid's rude as shit. Leave him to die.
It's too late for him.
Yeah, too right.
Wow, you both have left the kid. Fuck you, I'm going home.
It's not my kid.
Right. Yeah, too right. I would have left that kid on his ass.
Well, this is the first time you've ever survived the opening scene of a horror movie, Mark.
Yeah, well, he's rude, man. He's a rude little boy.
Cody does go up the stairs, and when he gets up there, he's going up the stairs, he picks up the knife that's on the stairs, and he goes up and he goes into one of the rooms where Jeremy locks him in the room. Again, this kid is great. He's an arsehole, but he's so entertaining.
I was very surprised that was the direction this took. I had no idea that's how it was going to play out. That was probably one of the last things I would have expected to happen in this moment.
Yeah, and Cody starts off quite nice, and then he goes into a blind panic in this room, and he's banging on the door and kicking it, and then he hits him with the line, "I'm going to kill you, you little shit," as his parents come in.
As the parents come in.
And with that, he boots the door. He's been kicking the door, and he gives it one last kick, and it swings open. It smashes Jeremy in the face, sending him over the banister 2 stories down onto a solid concrete floor. My jaw was on the floor.
Mine too.
This was so graphic. I mean, how many times have you guys watched this film now? Just once or twice?
I'm on 3 now.
I'm on 3, and it doesn't get any easier. You see him bend in half and then almost bounce about a foot in the air and then land back down on the floor. And it's like, oh man, that's awful. And this is a kid as well. I know he's a little shit, but this is not pleasant at all.
Well, and then for the parents to like come in and see. So it's like, he makes the point to make the comment. He's like, oh, like Michael Myers doesn't kill kids. And it was like, you're not expecting that. You're not expecting like this child that to come fly. Yeah, that part had me like, that was the moment, like that opening sequence had me pumped for the rest of this movie though. Like I saw this sequence and I was like, oh, this is going to be so good. Also, I have to say this because if I don't, it's going to drive me crazy. It's Corey, not Cody.
Is it Corey?
It's
It
Corey.
is Corey, yeah.
You both said Cody, so I was like nonchalant.
But he said it first. It's not my fault. He said it first. I just went with the flow because it's usually me who's wrong. I'm usually wrong in these situations. I thought, I'm actually wrong here.
It made me think I was crazy because I posted a review about it earlier and I was like, shit, I put the wrong name. It's Corey.
Okay. Well,
get your facts sorted, man. I haven't made out myself.
Yeah.
Anyway,
that's fine. Now I've been corrected and had my hand slapped. Naughty me. It goes from this straight into the opening titles, and the opening titles are blue, just like Halloween 3. Wow.
Did you catch before we dive into the opening titles, did you catch when the camera pans up to Corey at the top of the stairs and he's leaning over the balcony with the knife like Myers did in the original?
Yeah.
Such a cool shot. From that was it. As soon as I saw that, I was like, yeah, this dude.
Yeah, and then the blue sequence and the pumpkins, like one pumpkin coming through another and cracking it. And that.
What did you think to that?
I thought it looked great.
I loved it.
Yeah. Did you prefer it to any of the other Gordon Green ones? Because I think out of all of them, I still think the 18 one's my favourite with the mouldy pumpkin growing back to life in reverse. I think still that's the best one he's done. I didn't care much for kills. I thought with the flaming pumpkins and stuff, didn't really like that one.
I liked this one. I think 18's probably my favourite, but yeah, I definitely like this.
Yeah, I like the H3 font as well, the colours.
Yeah, and all in the blue. I was like, oh man, and
same font.
Same font. It was basically him saying, yeah, look, this is going to be as wild as part 3, so strap in because this is a very different Halloween film to what you're expecting.
Yeah, and I literally sat there and went, I'm right. I'm fucking right. I heard the radio station.
I thought you were going to be right.
I heard the radio station. I've now got the blue font. I'm already writing the episode where I'm so smug, and then I had to stop. We now get a Laurie Strode voiceover as it gives us effectively previously on Halloween, like you'd get in a series. That's kind of the vibe I got from it.
Yeah, it annoys me stuff like this.
Yeah, we do get some really cool flashbacks of 2018 Kills and the OG movie as well, 78, which I thought was good. But I didn't like her talking over it and explaining the town is now damaged. That just annoyed me.
I didn't like her monologuing throughout any of this film, I'll be honest with you. It didn't sit well with me. It was kind of like a Loomis nod. But Loomis has never done anything like this in any of the other films. He doesn't monologue over opening credit sequence. I mean, he has his impactful and dramatic sequences, but he doesn't do what they tried to do here, and it didn't work for me. And the flashback stuff as well, it felt very fan-made, I'll be honest with you. It didn't look great. It didn't look great. There was obviously, I know these films all came out in very different times, but for me, using original footage from the original Halloween film to then put it next to a 4K section from Halloween Kills, it was very jarring. I didn't like it at all. I think if they was going to do stuff with the flashbacks, they should have then recreated them like they did in Kills and put a little bit more effort into it, because then it would have transitioned nicer. It was uncomfortable to watch, I think.
Yeah, I think the only thing I took from this that I thought was any good is where she gives an update and kind of fills that 4-year gap of what she's been doing. She's bought a house. The house is not a trap now. It's a place where she's living her life with her granddaughter, and she's just getting on with life now because she knows the boogeyman's gone.
Yeah, I like the way that there was also saying how it's affected the town and people had started dying, and then there was wondering whether Myers was still around and whether he was coming back and killing these people. And the woman who hung herself, did you catch who that was?
No.
Do you know the guy from Halloween H18 with the devil horns who gets spiked on the fence?
Yeah.
That's his mum.
Oh, okay.
She finds his body in Halloween Kills. She walks past the mortuary window. That's her.
Okay.
So she's obviously grieving from that, and she's hung herself at the beginning of this film. So that was a nice touch.
Yeah, that is a nice touch. What wasn't a nice touch is where they panned out and it became very misery as she sat there writing a book.
You know what this whole segment reminded me of? Y'all are gonna probably roll your eyes so hard. This was a very Sidney Prescott moment in this film.
Yes,
as soon as we did the book and we can live safe and let the door open on its own, like they do in Scream 3, I think, when the door opens and she's living her life and forget the locks and craziness. I'm like, this is very Scream of them, but okay.
But there's a lot of Scream.
There is.
This film, I think.
But this part in particular, and I just wanted to comment on the montage of the older stuff. I feel like when films do this, especially big franchises, it just seems like filler to me. I don't need to see flashbacks at this point. I genuinely don't. I don't think it adds anything. It just, to me, it's this will take up, 2 minutes of time. So let's just chalk it in there. We'll YouTube edit some stuff together and put it in this film. I don't like when they do stuff like that because to me it just wastes space and time.
Yeah.
And so
I just recently reviewed the Friday the 13th Part 3, and that so far that franchise is a nightmare for it. At least the first 15 minutes of Part 2 and Part 3 have been the closing act of the last film, and it's this is Part 3. I know why I'm here. You don't need to tell me what's happening. If I'm starting this franchise at Part 3, I should be concerned with myself. So when they do it, especially in the closing act of a trilogy, it's come on, guys, we know why we're here. We know what's going on.
Yeah. I think the bit that was good here is they broke it up, and the way they broke it up was good with the smoke alarm going off because Laurie can't bake for shit. I thought that was a nice touch where she's not been a homemaker. And not only was it a nice way to break the scene, but also shows that she's not very good at it. She can't bake. And we catch up with Alison now, who's working as a nurse in a local hospital. We get a sharp cut to Corey, who, to my amazement, was not in prison. And there's no explanation for this. He's just cycling down the road on his bike.
It is explained in the film later on, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it is later on. But at this point, I was like, where the fuck's he going? Why is he not in prison? So Corey is working. I've got Corey in my notes now. So he must change from Cody to Corey and back to Cody in my notes. So Corey is working at a local scrapyard, and he arrives with his boss yelling at him that he's late again. But his boss is super nice and gives him a motorbike and says, look, get this. I've restored it a bit for you. It's there. You could use it. You don't need to be late for work again. This guy restored my faith in humanity, which got shattered when we meet Doug as he pulls over Alison. I honestly cannot say how much I hate this guy. The quality of police department in Haddonfield has declined rapidly since 1978.
Yeah. This guy's an asshole. And I know people like him as well. In real life, I know dickheads that have the similar sort of personality to this guy. And I'm like, you're such a weasel. You're a weaselly man. I can smell it on you already.
And he tries chatting Alison up, and he's like, "Oh, give me a call." And he's just a creep. He's the sort of guy that if I saw someone leering over a woman like that, I'd be like, "Fucking leave her alone, mate." You can see she doesn't like you.
And in a position of power like he is as well as a police officer, it's it just makes it even worse. I'm like, man, you're not nice. Yeah,
and Alison basically goes because he's like, "Oh, you're beautiful. Oh, can you call me?" She's like, "Is that the only reason you pulled me over on my way to work?" He's like, "Oh, no, you've got a loose muffler. You need to sort that out. It's going to become a big problem." Alison is stopped on a bridge, and we get a quick shot underneath of a homeless guy and the sewer pipe from Derry.
Hiya, Georgie.
Excellent.
It is. There's no other way to describe it.
That's in my notes too.
Yeah, this is where the Losers Club built the dam. This is where it's set. At a local gas station, Corey's just bought himself a bottle of glass bottle of milk, and he leaves the store. He's approached by 4 younger teens who say they're seniors, and they ask Corey to buy him 2 6-packs. First of all, 4 teens, 2 6-packs. What is even the point?
I think the biggest question we should be asking is, these characters are part of the fucking band camp. And the way their story unfolds throughout this film, I'm like, you guys are not band camp. You are not band camp.
No, it's so weird. And I just can't get over the fact that they wanted 12 beers between 4 people. That's 3 beers each. That's like the warm-up for the show. That's before we even start recording.
Yeah. Yeah, Jesus.
Anyway, Corey says no, and then they realise who he is, and they start calling him a killer, kid killer, and a pedo. And Corey loses his temper and has the strength of the Incredible Hulk and crushes a glass bottle in one hand. I had a glass bottle at home when I watched this. I went and got a glass bottle just to see.
Don't be an idiot, dude. Why would you even try and do that?
That's kind of how my head works.
If that breaks in your hand, you realise the damage you would cause to yourself.
Honest to God, there is no way in the world I could break that with 2 hands, let alone 1. He's superhuman.
In your hand, you would need major surgery.
Yeah, I would. Anyway, they start pushing Corey around and they push him over. And this is where Laurie comes in as badass H18 Laurie. As she walks in and goes, "Hey, assholes, knock it off." I was like, yes. Yeah. I was so pleased when she arrived. And the kids they're not bothered by Laurie. They refer to them as the psycho and the freak. And then they stomp off in the store. And this Laurie this is the Laurie I absolutely love, where she just smiles at Cody and goes, "Do you want to do it or should I?" As she pulls out a pocket knife, hands it to Cody, and he slashes their tires. Fabulous.
Love it.
I'm still not entirely sure I'm on board with Laurie's character at all in this film. I'll be honest.
Okay. I like this bit. Well, we'll see how your love of Laurie unfolds. Laurie takes Corey to the hospital to get his hand looked at, being the Good Samaritan and also being an interfering granny all at the same time, trying to set him up with Alison, who she knows is going to end up treating him. Which she does. They have quite a sweet encounter and agree to meet up again. And then we get a snapshot of the radio tower. H3, baby. I was so happy. I was like, yes, the radio tower.
I've only seen H3 once. Is that the radio tower from Halloween 3? Or is it just a radio tower and we're just putting it together?
No, it's definitely a nod to Season of the Witch.
Yeah, 100%.
Season of the Witch is one of my favorite Halloween movies. It's definitely like a...
Yeah. Back at home, Alison is talking with Laurie and Lindsay Wallace, who... in honesty, is completely pointless in this movie. I don't know why they...
absolute waste of a character.
Yeah. She literally could have been anyone. They're all joking and laughing about Laurie setting Alison up with Corey. And Laurie done something I never thought I would ever see that character or Jamie Lee Curtis ever do. She jumps up and says, "Sometimes you just need to get your tits out and thrust life," and then starts thrusting across the kitchen. I paused it at this point. I don't know what went through Gordon Green's mind when he decided that was good, but that it wasn't good.
No, it's almost as good as got peanut butter on my dick from the first one. Peanut butter on my penis, yeah. One of those moments.
Just bizarre. But I like the little family dynamic they've got. They've got like Laurie's the mum, Alison's the kid, and you've kind of got like
and Lindsay.
Yeah, Lindsay's just like the weird auntie who comes over. But she's pointless in this movie. Wasted. Absolutely wasted. In complete contrast to this, we now meet Corey's house and his home life, which is fucking atrocious. His mum. Oh, this is weird. God.
What the fuck is this about, man?
He's getting texts from Alison. She's like, "Who's on the phone? Who's texting you? Why are they texting you?" And then he doesn't answer. She's like, "Boys who keep secrets don't get custard with their dessert." What?
I think it's already said that he's like 21 in this as well, 21, 22.
Yeah.
This is very strange.
Yeah.
This is very Carrie. That's when I have like a list of horror movies that this has in it, and Carrie is one of them.
Yeah. There's a lot of Christine references in here as well, which I'm going to try and avoid because every time I try defending this, everyone just throws Christine at me. So I'm not going to be touching on those in this episode. This is where we find out his dad is actually the guy who owns the junkyard. So he's working for his dad.
It's his stepdad. Sorry, it's his stepdad.
As his stepdad, is it?
Yes.
Okay, I thought it was actually his dad.
No, they have a conversation about him being his stepdad at one point or another. Stepdad Ron, and I can't remember because he calls him Ron as well.
Yeah, and he's a nice guy. He's like, he does the thing that lots of dads do. He's like, well, don't tell your mum I gave you a motorbike.
Yeah.
Fuck, don't drag me into your drama. I don't need that in my life.
Yeah, because I was with you. I thought it was his dad at first, and I thought, well, that's a bit weird that you're taking such a back seat. But then, obviously, when I found out it was his stepdad, it makes more sense that he's more of an outsider in terms of the dynamic in the family. Yeah,
and like the following day, as arranged at the hospital, Alison takes her car to the scrapyard for Corey to have a look at it. As they're talking and flirting, the arsehole kid from earlier comes in with his tyres that got slashed, and his dad is a prick. His dad is a dad from A Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah.
Ripping into him. You idiot boy, you drove on the flat tyre. He's bad.
Yeah.
Really bad. Now, I've been wondering for ages where Mr. Frank Hawkins had been. Up until this point, I'm going, where's Hawkins? Why is Hawkins not here? We finally get to see him. Not how I expected. He's doing his fucking weekly food shop.
Yeah, and he looks like he's aged about 50 years since the last time we saw him. He did. I'm slightly wondering whether this actor's not very well at the moment during filming.
He's had a rough 4 years, if it's only a 4-year gap, really bad. He bumps into Laurie and they have a catch up. They lead you to believe these two have hardly spoken in 4 years, which I found really odd after what relationship they would have built in 18 and Kills, for them to have kind of just gone their own ways and not spoken. That being said, these two are both incredible actors and actresses, and I like this scene. It made me smile a lot, and I want these two to become a couple. It's something that I wanted in 2018. I wanted it again in Kills, and I wanted it again in this, and probably more so now because they're kind of their life's all sorted. And Laurie goes out, big smile on her face, when she bumps into the lady who shouts at her, "What are you smiling about?" And this is the sister of the lady who got the fluorescent light tube through the throat in, was it 2018 or Kills?
In Kills.
Kills.
She's a neighbour and her husband gets stabbed on the table with loads of knives. I mean, it was such a cool nod to see her. As soon as I saw her in the chair, I was like, oh, holy shit, she survived. That's awesome.
Yeah, because we don't know at the end of the other one if she survived or not. We just assume she died.
Yeah, she's not in a good way, though. She's in a wheelchair. She can't talk. And her sister does all the talking for her. Goes on to say that you teased that monster out. It's all your fault. It's your fault my sister's like this. And Laurie goes off to her car for a cry, which annoyed me because Laurie doesn't go to cars and cry.
No, and it's just this whole dynamic and tonal shift that this town has now developed, and the way that everybody is reacting to people like Laurie and the events of Michael Myers. I mean, it's been 4 years. And already the story of this character is convoluted in such a way that nobody even pronounces his name right half the time. And the events of what happened, and it's just all really jarring that it's played out the way it is. I don't quite know why it's done like that.
It's very, the handling of Laurie's very strange.
But just the handling of Haddonfield in general in this film just feels so off.
And I think it's led by the way they handle Laurie. Everything follows suit with that kind of up and down. There's a very happy vibe, sad vibe, happy vibe, sad vibe all the way through this.
Yeah, it just throws me though, because based on how Kills left off with literally the entire town in the hospital chanting "Evil dies tonight," I don't get how they can all forget that within a matter of years. You know, they was all there together as a unity, and they know the story, they know what's going on, and then all of a sudden now everyone's so divided. And it's not right. It doesn't make sense.
Corey and Alison are now en route to a Halloween party. The radio is pumping out some good old H3 vibes before Alison turns it off. This bar rocks. This party rocks, and I need this place in my life. We get a montage scene of dancing, partying, a photo booth thingy, and the most intelligent, brilliant cameo in the entire Halloween franchise I've ever seen. Nick Castles, if you don't know who that is, Michael Myers from 1978, in a trench coat, bumps into Corey, opening the trench coat to reveal like a bodysuit with like human organs on it. And he asks him, "See anything you like?" Fucking fabulous.
Yeah, it's very cool. Very cool little nod. I like to see that.
absolutely fabulous. And I get the feeling Nick Castle was having an absolute blast in that bar.
Yeah,
if you
I reckon they were serving proper alcohol.
if you look at his eyes are like all over the place. He's like, see anything you like?
Yeah, this is a straight up Halloween 2 rip off. This scene though, even the way that Corey has to fit on the floor is Laurie Strode from Halloween 2. Rob Zombie, obviously.
Yeah,
he's almost scene for scene take.
Yep.
Yeah, I did really enjoy it though, and something this movie does really well, and they do it a lot throughout, is the sudden shift in tone. And they do it a lot where they'll build up something that's really, really happy, and then it snaps, and it's so severe, and it kind of, you go, oh. And this happens when Corey dances up to the bar and bumps into the mum who was all thirsty for him before he booted her kid off a balcony. I found this so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It's like you watch it, you go, oh man. And I feel for the mum, and I kind of feel for Corey as well. And it's like, I don't like this. And then Corey becomes a massive bellend. He storms out, and then Alison follows him. He blames Alison for it.
Yeah, because he's been hiding away and keeping himself to himself. And the one time he puts himself out there, that immediately happens. And he's like, I told you I didn't want to be out, and I'm not your project, and you can't fix me kind of thing. And they had this really interesting conversation about how she tries to explain to Corey that she knows what he's going through. And he's like, no, you don't. When people look at you, they look at you as a survivor. When people look at me, they look at me as a monster. And it was cool. It was cool. I like the way that it handled that situation.
Yeah, he was a dick though. He's punching way above his weight. He's not in a position to start throwing his weight around and pushing those opportunities away from him.
No, he's definitely punching above his weight.
Corey begins to walk home, and as he's crossing the bridge where Alison got pulled over earlier, he's cornered again by the arseholes.
The band camp.
The band camp, yeah. This one time, at band camp, Michael Myers came, and it was so funny. They start pushing him and calling him names. They stamp on his glasses, and he retaliates, saying, your dad must really hate you. I saw he treated you like an idiot. And I was like, yeah, good for you. And then they threw him off the bridge. I was like, oh, shit.
Yeah, that was pretty brutal.
They threw him off the bridge, and then they drive off. Just leave him there. We see the homeless man again, and Corey's unconscious body being dragged into a sewer pipe. The fuck is it? It's chapter 3.
Meet Pennywise.
This fucking, come on.
Yeah, I don't know. I like this because it was obvious where this was going from this point. It was obvious that this was Michael taking him in there. It's just what happened next is where it all goes a bit strange, isn't it?
No, it went strange where he dragged him by his feet like a scene from It. That's where I didn't
understand what he was doing, what they was trying to insinuate here. Is Michael taking people into the sewer and eating them? Is that what he's surviving? Is that how he's surviving? I don't get it.
I don't know.
Is he just going in there and killing people because he likes to kill? I don't understand what they were trying to insinuate here.
Did Gordon Green get the timeline messed up and he should have come back in 27 years, not in 4?
Pennywise. I like it.
Corey gets... so he gets in there and he meets face to face with Myers, and Myers lets him go right after reading his mind. How did he read his mind?
So I have a theory about this, and I think you were right on what you were saying on your theories about what was going to happen in this film. I don't know if you've just got an oversight on this now, but the whole idea of the end of Halloween 4 and the passing of evil from one person to the other, I think that's what is happening here, or at least that's what's subtly suggested towards, is that Myers is now passing on this darkness, this dark passenger onto Corey, because he changes. He's a different person after he leaves.
Yeah, so I think I would be if I'd been dragged in a sewer and then been grabbed by the throat by a ginormous Michael Myers. I'd be a different person as well.
Yeah, but I would be going to the police and reporting it. I wouldn't then go start on a homicidal attack around my town. You know, I think it was trying to subtly suggest that this is what they would have liked to have done, but whether they had the bollocks to actually execute it properly remains to be seen.
This is when it starts to lose me. This is when I was watching it and I was like, oh boy. So what I wanted when he got drugged into the sewer was I wanted him to get taken in there and there'd be like 15 other people in Michael Myers mask and jumpsuits. I was like, if they do something like this, I know it would be cheesy, but I would be so much more on board. And then the introduction, like when we first see him, and it's like, okay, this is like this big moment. I was like, I walked away like, what the fuck am I watching? Like, it took me a long time after that to like get back invested. Like, this part broke. This was when my opinion of it started to shift, because I was into it, and then I was like, when this part happened, it just kind of...
One thing I did like here is the fact that Myers is old and broken and not the Myers he once was. Even when he's got hold of Corey, he's slumped, and you can see he's like, this is not easy for him anymore. And I liked the fact that they weakened Myers in that way. They showed that he is still a man. It's been 4 years of him living in the sewers after taking horrific, brutal injuries. He's not the monster he once was, and I liked that.
Yeah. It was, again, though, with the cinematography, I just don't think they do that quick sequence where they show all the sort of flashbacks of Cody's life and the events that have led him to this moment. It just didn't look great. It could have been quite easily cut, and it could have just been a shot of Myers and Cody staring each other down. You didn't need to put that in there, I don't think.
Yeah, and then when Corey gets out of the pipe, he gets approached by the homeless guy who's like, what's going on? I see him take people in there from time to time. Why did you get out? Why did you get out? And Corey stabs him and brutally kills him.
Yeah.
He then rushes home for some more abuse from his mum, goes into the bathroom where he starts acting all Myers-y. I was so confused at this point. I was like, whoa, what's happened?
But I was on board. Don't get me wrong, as much as I have issues with some of the plots that are going on, but it's only because I don't take issue with them at this point. On this point, I was like, yeah, this is great. I actually really like this. This is cool. It's only as it unfolds, and now I know where it goes. In hindsight, this stuff bothers me a little bit. But when I was watching it, I was like, shit, man, this is new. I like this. This is exactly what I wanted him to do with this. I wanted him to take it in a different direction, and he's delivered on that. I wasn't questioning anything at this point as to why he'd done what he'd done.
It got a bit wobbly here for me, but I got pulled back in quite quickly when you get a couple of little filler scenes. So you get Corey going to see Alison to apologise, and Laurie noticing straight away that something's not right. I like this, and I like the fact that Corey's like, let's go for a walk. And as they go for a walk, Laurie goes round to see Corey's mother, which is, honestly, this scene had so much potential, and they threw it all away because this woman rips into Laurie. And I was like rubbing my hands going, fucking, you're going to regret this one. You're going to regret. And Laurie's like, I think I'll leave. What?
Yeah.
What do you mean you'll leave? No, you won't. You're going to punch her in the throat. Why are you leaving?
But the fact that Laurie notices the darkness in his eyes immediately after him leaving the tunnel, it just harkens onto that theory that this darkness has been passed on to Corey.
Yeah, and this is where Corey's mum blames Laurie for her son being the new monster because she got rid of her monster and the town needed a new one. And that was Corey. And I liked this. While this is all going on, Corey confesses to Alison about killing the little boy. And when he said, I killed someone, I was like, he's going to confess he killed the homeless person.
The homeless guy.
Shit. But he doesn't. And then he takes her to the house where it was abandoned that the boy died in. And they continue that chat there. I like that they took the time to really build the relationship between these two. And I appreciate the effort that they put in, not just in this bit, but then going to the diner and developing the story there where they talk about what they want to do in the future, their hopes, and like they sort of toy on leaving Haddonfield. And it's quite a nice little scene. And then it's ruined by fucking Doug, this guy.
And this is Doug Malone, or is it Mulaney? It's Mulaney. So the ginger kid from the previous flashbacks. Do you know in Halloween Kills, you get the ginger kid, the bullying one?
Yeah.
Then you got the Mulaney family and the bullying that kid.
Yeah.
He's basically one of that. He's that kid.
Yeah, I really don't like him. And he's teasing Alison, and he's like, yeah, you're hanging around with the killer. This is who you go to for comfort when the boogeyman comes in your dreams.
What a dick move.
Corey jumps up and loses his temper and squares up to Doug. 100% I'd have been in handcuffs because I'd have smacked him so hard in the mouth.
Doug shits himself as well. You can see that Doug's like, oh, holy fuck.
Yeah, Doug sees it too. Doug's kind of like, oh, I think I've messed up here. And then he goes back and like laughs it off with the other guys from the police station.
Like, no. Scared.
I wasn't scared. It was cool. It was fine.
This is the part when I started to really like Corey as a character, actually. Like, I started to like really like where like his stuff. This is when I started getting a little bit more back into it, was when that scene happened. Because I'm like, okay. Without getting too graphic, like I think that's a very appealing trait. Somebody willing to stick up for like the person that they're into. I really liked that a lot. So that's when I was like,
you are aware he has killed 2 people already by this point.
What? That's semantics, okay? This is a horror movie.
Right, okay.
Look, I tell people all the time, they're like, oh, like, do you have a type? And I was like, I don't date my type. They're in prison.
Excellent.
Okay, you learn something new every podcast. Corey drops Alison off and then heads off to the bridge underpass. And he's been followed, no prizes for guessing who he's being followed by, dickhead Doug. Doug pulls up, he sees the bike, he can't see him, he can't see Corey. He sees the homeless guy who's been now positioned in the tent, and I'm assuming Myers put him in the tent, positioning bodies how he used to. I'm assuming that's what happened.
I didn't even think about that, yeah.
Corey shouts from within the It Chapter 2 sewer pipe, and Doug goes in after him. Again, very reminiscent of, you want a balloon? There's a creepy Myers face carved into the rock. Ideas? Why is that there?
Did you not see what was behind it?
No.
Myers is in that scene. So you've got the rock here, and you've got Doug looking at it there, and Myers is literally stood in the darkness behind him.
Yeah.
The face is just a distraction. Myers is actually stood there.
It's right there.
It's so cool.
Okay.
I didn't see it. I watched this in the cinema on Saturday, and I only watched it again today, and I noticed it the second time around at home.
I did notice he was there until the second time around also. I just saw the one thing.
Yeah. I didn't
check it. It's cool. It's a really cool scene.
I'm going to go and watch it again because I need to understand it a bit better.
Yeah, it's a really cool. When you see it, though, you're like, because it's creepy as fuck as well, the way he is.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I'll go and rewatch. Doug is first attacked by Corey, and when he pushes him off, Corey demands that Myers teaches him how to be like Michael. Michael then stumbles out of the shadows in this kind of very tired, broken way, and Corey holds Doug still while Myers stabs him, and as he's stabbing him, seems to be getting stronger and more powerful with everything he does.
It's like he's revitalizing himself.
Yeah, it was really unexpected, and this is brutal. And as far as I'm concerned, I loved this scene.
Yeah, I again, I liked it. It's something that Kills tries to insinuate. With the more he kills, the more he transcends. Again, it's just another missed opportunity in this film because it's hinted towards, but never really comes to anything else after this point.
I thought it was dumb in Kills. I thought it was dumb in this. I think that one of the things I liked about Michael Myers, because again, like I'm not like the biggest Halloween fan, right? But I've seen all the movies, I follow along. But I think like one of the things that made him effective was towing the line between like an actual living person and something not of this like world. And I think it works better as a subtlety than it does to outright address it. I don't like that. I don't like when they do that. I like calling him evil and never referring to him as Michael and only calling him evil and say like I'm good with all of that. But the moment you like have this open discussion about the fact that like it's otherworldly, it just like it doesn't work for me. I don't like it. I didn't like it in Kills, and it was even worse in this. This whole scene is not one I walked away thinking memorable. Like I didn't like it. No, I know that like he's like old, and I get it, and I'm like, all right, fine. But the amount of whatever that he had, and maybe this is part of that whole like transcending thing and like getting energy from soul sucking or whatever it is that he's doing, like. But he's just very like, I know it's only been 4 years, but am I supposed to be like thinking like, okay, he like went through a lot. And so now he's like really down and out all of a sudden when he's been able to take bullets and fall out windows, and like all these things. Like I had a hard time with him being so weak. And I guess that was the point, was it's like, oh, well, he has to kill to not be weak. But I think that's dumb. So that didn't work for me.
I mean, I never really took it on board in such a deep level. I didn't really pay too much attention to it from that angle. I think the reason I found him to be so weak was because he took such a fucking lashing at the end of Kills. He's seriously recovered. I think anybody who took the kind of damage he takes in the end of that film is likely to be in the situation Myers has found himself in 4 years later, damaged and broken. When he does kill Doug, I don't think it needed to be played out the way it did. I don't think he needed to sort of break up and stand up and crack his back like he's the Incredible Hulk. And it didn't work for me that moment. But it could have done. It could have done if it was more meaningful throughout the rest of the film. But it's not. It's there for a 10-second scene, and then we never refer back to it ever again. It's like, well, what was that all about?
Talking about wasted, stupid scenes, we get a quick scene where Laurie goes to the bar and explains to Lindsay that she sees Michael in him. And thankfully, Lindsay's got dad of Jeremy on hand who says, oh, yeah, he was a really nice kid and I was going to forgive him. And then I saw him and then I saw he's evil. And I was like, fuck no.
I quite like this, though, because that was the thing that was on about earlier, about the whole transitioning of evil. It's like he said that he'd seen him previously prior, and then this one day he was driving down. I mean, this is obviously like a couple of days ago in the events of this film.
Yeah.
And he'd stopped to see him, and he's like, it's not the person he was anymore. His eyes have changed. There's just darkness inside of him. He's on a dark path. Elements that work here, and I thought that was one of them.
What did work for me is the little side quest about Alison's promotion at work, where she's trying to get a promotion at work. She doesn't get a promotion at work that she really deserved. And then we find out why her bitch co-worker got it. It's because sex. That's why, because she's sleeping with the doctor. She's at the doctor's house, so she goes to have a shower. Why he sets out a cheese board. Is this what women want? Do women want men setting out cheese boards?
I don't know. My wife loves wine and cheese.
Yeah, I don't know.
More of like eat it out of the bag kind of person. You can spare me the formality.
Just a bag of grated.
That's right.
She hears a scream and goes to investigate, where she finds Corey in a scarecrow mask that he wore to the Halloween party, brutally stabbing the doctor. She runs. Awesome. Corey chases her, and he gets locked outside. And she's like, does this kind of almost like smirk as she tries to dial 911, and then Myers just emerges from the shadows, pinning her to the wall like in the original.
When he kills
in the
Paul.
Original. I like this scene.
Tag team killers. I'm fully on board to Myers having an apprentice.
Become my apprentice.
Yeah.
I am too. I thought Corey killing in that scarecrow mask, when she flicked the lights on and he's put a bag over the doctor's head and he's stabbing him in the neck with a corkscrew. I was like, shit, that is brutal. And you get such contrasting killers as well, how clumsy Corey is and running and getting his arm trapped in the door and then screaming in pain when she traps his hand in the doors. And then you just get professional killer Michael Myers stepping out from the darkness. He's like, little boy, watch how this is done.
Yeah, I've been in here for hours, you dickhead. Why are you struggling out there? Look, all you do is you pick them up with one hand and then you pin them to the wall with the knife. It's like that. All that's missing is when he turns around and sort of goes, see? Like this.
Yeah. It's cool. But again, I like it in this, but on paper, Michael Myers running around with his new Robin is a bit fucking weird, isn't it?
It's a little.
And their weird like air high five that they did, I was like, what the hell?
When Corey takes his bandage off, he puts his bloody hand against a glass. It's like, I don't know. But my question is, how the fuck are they getting to these places together?
On the motorbike.
Are they on the motorbike together?
Myers is on the back of the bike.
Right. Okay. He's on the back. He's not on the front like E.T. in a shopping.
No. He's on the back, cuddling.
He's on the back. Right. Okay.
He's leaning his head against him so he can hear his heartbeat to soothe him.
Like a scene from The Mannequin.
That's it.
Oh my god.
Speaking of dumb scenes, we now get another one at the radio tower, where Corey's taken Alison to the radio tower. They're talking about leaving, and in some dumbass, stupid metaphor, he leaps from the roof to sort of, I don't know. It's just stupid. He throws from the roof. He lands on the deck. And the only reason they've done this is so he could do an old school Michael Myers sit up. That's the only reason this is there.
I hated when he did that as well.
Yeah.
Fuck you imitator.
Yeah. Step in, who should have been my Busta Rhymes cameo, but it wasn't. But he was close enough for me.
That would have worked for me. If that was Busta Rhymes working, I would have accepted that and be like, that's all right. Okay, I'll let that go.
I thought when I was listening to the radio, I thought it was Busta Rhymes. So when they got to this bit and the door swung open, I was like, oh.
I would have loved it for you. Well. And I would have let it go in that scene. I think it would have worked well.
It would have worked. The radio DJ was great. I mean, his line, "Get the hell off my property, or I fuck you both up." just made me laugh a lot.
But again, though, the whole town is against these characters, and I get it why there would be angst towards Corey killing a kid accidentally, whether no one actually saw it. So the speculation's there whether it was legit or whether it was an accident. But the way people are being towards Allison is just so strange.
Yeah.
Like she's a victim of all of this situation, and everyone's like freak showing her out and stuff. I'm like, I just don't get it. It doesn't fit and it doesn't work.
I think the point, and I don't necessarily think that it works either, but I think the point is she just gets kind of lumped in with Lori. So we see how Lori's being treated, and then it's like, she's related and she's been she's part of the family, so they just like lump her in. I think it's like I don't
think Lori deserves it either. I don't think Lori deserves the reputation again. And they keep harping on about this thing of like, oh yeah, it's evil's infectious and it spreads like a disease and it's affecting the town and everyone's. I don't know, man. It just there's so much here that's good, but not, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, you've got Laurie watching from the car in this scene as well, which I was like, I didn't like that. Detective Laurie. Corey goes home and we get another interaction with his wonderful, caring, lovely mother, who goes on a rant of, she can smell it on you. I can smell her on you. She won't take you. Then she slaps him. And then Corey's like, I'm moving out. She's like, well, if you're moving out, you go right now. So he does.
She slaps him and then like tries to kiss him weirdly on the lips. I was like, what is going on here?
Yeah, they've got a very odd relationship. We get a hard cut to a black screen that says October 31st. It's not even Halloween yet, and all this shit's happened. and I was like, when it got done that, I was like, yes, the good bits are now coming. Corey wakes up in the house where he killed the little boy to repetitive banging. He sits up to find Laurie Strode rocking in a chair, banging the chair against the windowsill. Laurie tells him it's over with him and Allison, and to leave her alone. And he hits her with the line, if I can't have her, no one can. I was like, oh, man, no. That's
creepy, weird.
Yeah. Adding that Laurie should give up and kill herself, give in to the feeling that she had the first time she looked into her eyes.
There's a scene here as well, and he says a word of dialogue at some point, and he goes, do you want to take her or shall I? And I'm like, is Myers in the house with you at this moment? Because he's sort of monologuing to himself on the staircase, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's not necessarily directly communicating with Laurie, but he says out loud, do you want to take her or shall I? And I'm like, are you talking to Myers about Laurie? I just feel like there's so much missing from this film. I don't know whether there's like a massively extended cut out there somewhere and this has been trimmed down, because that just didn't make any sense to me. It felt so out of place and out of nowhere. I was like, surely if Myers was in the house, we would see a scene of Myers in the house watching them.
Yeah, I would like to have, in that scene, would have liked to have got a shot of Myers just stood at the top of the stairs lurking in a doorway.
Yes, that would have been cool.
What we got, I thought, was equally as cool. He looks away for a split second and Laurie does a Myers.
And leaves,
and just up and vanishes. I thought that was brilliant. I was like, good for you. And Corey is like proper startled by it. He's like, shit. He like jumps up and he's like checking the door of the window. Like, how did she do that? I don't like that. I thought that was really good. Corey, being the little fuck that he is, calls Allison and says they need to leave because Laurie's going to kill him.
I'm not being funny, but like there isn't really much going on at this point for him to justify this conversation to Allison. Like if I was Allison, I'd be like, this is a little bit weird, mate. I don't really know if you're okay.
And then he follows this by going and visiting Papa Myers down in the sewer, where he tussles with him going, you have something I need. And amazingly, he wins this altercation and takes Myers' mask. I was shocked.
So where do you guys sit on this before I go off on one?
I sit in the fact that Myers is older and weaker, and he's younger and stronger, and Myers just simply hasn't got it anymore.
My problem is that hasn't mattered before. Like, why all of a sudden does his age and shit matter? He's been old. Like, 4 years, I get it. He got beat up, whatever. But
you're right. He's only 62.
Since the 70s. Like, it's like, I have a hard time with going, like, we went so crazy in the last movie. And so we've been like this. He's been this like crazy, invincible, strong, over the top, strong thing, right? And now all of a sudden, it's just too different. It's too much of a jump in his capabilities, his strength. Like, I get it. He's beat up. He's old. Okay, fine. But like, damn, I didn't like that part. I thought that was really stupid. This is when I started losing it again.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sort of with you both on this a little bit. I have to look at this from two different angles, really, because when I'm watching it, I'm like, yeah, that works. I like that. But then at the same time, I'm like, I'm a Halloween fan, and that is disrespectful as fuck.
Yeah.
But I get it, and I like it. I liked it in this, and it worked, and I watched it, and I thought that was cool. But then I think about it, and I'm like, you motherfuckers.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, part of me hates it, but part of me just loves the balls on Gordon Green for doing it.
And it pays off. As far as I'm concerned, it pays off because we go back to our little group of arseholes who are back in the gas station, and Corey scratches something in their bonnet. I can't remember what he writes in their bonnet.
He writes psycho.
And then he rides off on his bike, and they follow him. And they follow him to the junkyard. When they can't see him, they decide they're going to destroy his bike. So they wrap a chain around it, and they say to one of the teens, "Oh, go start the car." After it's all chained up, they're like, "Start the car." And he can't start the car because he is dead.
Yeah, this is Billy, and I like the way that Billy dies because he's a little mullet-wearing dickhead with the drumsticks. I'm like,
yeah,
dude, you don't have a drum with you. Why are you walking around with drumsticks all the time? It's annoying, you know? So thankfully, he gets that fucking drumstick in his eyeball where it belongs.
Yeah. Yeah, and the next bit I thought was fantastic. The lights from the truck come up, and he's driving down towards the teen. Then one of them climbs over the gate, and he smashed into the gate, and I was expecting her to go flying. But she doesn't. She just hits the deck and gets like crushed under the gate. Oh, yeah, it's so good. So good. She gets pinned. Team 3 gets a tire iron to the head.
Yeah, cool.
Which is a brilliant kill as well. The main arsehole has gone to get help from Corey's stepdad, who's sat in the office watching a film. He gives the teen a gun and then goes out to see what's happening. He spots it's Corey as Corey walks around holding the Myers mask. And he stands up in front of the teen to go, "No, don't shoot him." The teen shoots him in the head.
Killing him instantly.
Killing him.
The car is just gone, vanished.
Yeah.
Full on Myers moment.
And this is the best kill in the movie as far as I'm concerned.
Hands down. Brutal as fuck.
Pinned down, blowtorch in the mouth.
Yep.
And Margot's there pinned under the fence, just staring at him, screaming as it's happening.
Love it.
Yeah. On the plus side, she didn't have to stare for too long because he stamps on her head.
Crushing it like a pineapple. He
yes.
just destroys it and then runs over it.
Yeah, these kills are fantastic. And this is what I wanted from Myers in 18. This is how brutal I wanted. I like the fact that this is a young Myers. I know it's not Myers, but we're getting a young, athletic, powerful, fast Michael Myers.
On that idea, this was great. I was quite okay with him taking up the mantle here.
Yeah. Yep.
I was more than on board. And I'm a hardcore Halloween fan. I love me some Michael Myers, but I was like, yeah, this is working for me.
Yeah,
if this is Michael Myers' retirement and this is how the franchise is going to continue, I am more than okay with it.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, after the death of his stepdad, he decides to make himself a full orphan by going and killing his mother, brutally stabbing her to death. So he's now completely an orphan.
Yeah, it was a cool little throwback to the original as well. You get that POV moment with the heavy breathing in the mask as he opens the kitchen drawer and pulls out the knife.
Yep.
It doesn't stop. So, like, he's off to the radio station where he kills the receptionist.
Who is Joe Bob Briggs's mail girl?
Yes, Darcy. Mail girl. Yep.
Yeah.
It was a nice cameo from her.
That was cool. Yep.
And then he goes to the DJ. He hits the DJ repeatedly so hard in the face that his jaw falls off. Not satisfied with that, just in case he may ever speak again, he cuts his tongue off with a pair of paper scissors.
Yep.
I wasn't massively fussed about the effects in this. It looked a bit lazy when his jaw
I like
was
that
hanging
part.
off
That's
and
my
stuff.
second favorite kill of the whole movie.
I was okay with it. I just thought the effects work looked a bit lazy.
Yeah, I mean, this was the point when I literally wrote in my notes, "I'm sorry, move over, Myers, you've been surpassed."
And again, I was all right with it. I was fine with him doing this. He looked great in the mask. The one thing I didn't get is immediately he developed the mannerisms of Myers, the way he was walking robotically, and he does that very strong postured walk, straight lined.
Yeah.
He doesn't turn his head, he turns his entire body, as opposed to if somebody turns to look, you turn and look, but whereas he turns his entire body like Myers does, it becomes very robotic. And I'm like, if you're going to make this character your own and you're going to move forward and you're going to be the new Myers, be the new Myers. Don't just copy
Copy the old one.
Yeah, I thought get your own personality with it, and then that would be cool, and I would be willing to accept it. But just putting a new character altogether underneath the mask and then having him play the same character just didn't work for me as much as I wanted it to. It was nice to see, but it was just an overlook, I think, in the writing department.
This brutality for me was what I had wanted for the entire 2 hours. I wanted this for 2 hours, and it took that freaking long to like get to it. And so I was finally like, okay, finally, here we go. Like, let's get this show on the road. Like, this was when I started to like, it was peaks and valleys for me the whole time I was watching. But this was another one where I was like, okay, I'm a little bit back in now. Like, this was what I was wanting from this movie. This was what I needed.
Yeah, and the thing is, from here, it just gathers pace. You get a little row between Laurie and Alison about Alison wanting to leave, and Alison storms out. We then get Laurie grabbing the bottle, opening a little lockbox with a gun in it and calling 911 to report a suicide at her address. Then you get a bang and splatter up the wall. The door opens, and it's Corey in the Myers mask. This is not Laurie's first rodeo. I loved this. She's like... Opened the door, gun straight in his face. Did you think I'd kill myself, motherfucker? Bang, bang,
this
bang.
Is the Laurie I wanted.
Yes, yeah. I agree.
And she shoots him, 3-4 times?
Twice in the shoulder, and then he falls off the stairs like in the original.
Yeah, I really wanted her to offload 6, just to say she shot Myers 6 times.
That would have been cool. She does that cool thing where she pretends to shoot herself and shoots a pumpkin. She shoots him twice, and then she goes downstairs and unloads the other 3 into the wall.
Yeah.
As if to say, right, come on then, now let's go.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. She basically says, right, let's do it. Let's do it. Yeah. And Corey just sits up and goes, if I can't have her, no one can. And then stabs himself in the throat. I was like,
Gutted. I was absolutely gutted at this point.
I was too.
At this point, Alison walks in and has an absolute meltdown and leaves in a rage. And she's been seeing this boy for 3 days?
I'm not being funny either, though, but he's laid at the bottom of the stairs in a grandma's house in Mike Myers overalls with a fucking Halloween mask next to him and a butcher's knife.
Come on, man. Yeah.
Like, she's not that stupid. She's a very intelligent character. At least she was in the previous 2 films before she got massively sidelined here.
Yeah.
You would think she would walk into this situation and be like, oh my God, you were right.
Yeah. And this bit now is like, Laurie, you can see, is now actually contemplating suicide. And she's kind of got this mopey bit where she's stumbling away. And Myers appears and walks up.
She notices the back door's open, doesn't she?
Yeah, Myers picks up the mask, and then he reaches down to grab the knife that's next to Corey, and Corey's not dead. He puts his hand up to try and stop him, and this for me was fantastic. This was when Myers was like, "No, you're just the apprentice," and he can't get his hand to the knife, so he stops trying to get the knife, just grabs his neck and snaps it, and then picks the knife up. I was like, yeah, okay. All right, maybe you haven't been replaced just yet.
But again, this was a moment where I feel like if they'd have utilised what they did in the sewers, where you almost get the impression that he's passing on this evil into Corey. If you'd have had a similar sort of scene with like the eyes and the flashing as if it was Myers taking it back again, and then he was proper brooding and badass again, that would have worked for me, and I could have seen how I could have tied all this together.
We now get a recreation of 78 with Myers stalking Laurie through the house. I liked this. It gave me the same feelings I had watching the first one. It was very tense. It was good. And then we finally, after over 40 years of waiting, get a one-on-one full-on showdown fight between Myers and Laurie. I loved this fight scene.
Yeah, it's very good. And this is something that they paid a lot of attention to, even just to build up to it with the fact that it shows that she's learned from experiences over the past 40 years, and she sets a timer on the microwave as a distraction before she gets into her hiding place, knowing that the microwave would go off and alert Myers so she could jump out and make her attack. It's little things like that where I'm like, yeah, you're not the same character you were in the original 1978. You've adapted, you've grown, and you've been waiting for this moment, especially with all the build that we had through Halloween 18 and Kills and stuff like that, even though she massively got sidelined in Kills. But it was good to see that it wasn't just this defenseless, panicked woman, even though you see the fear in her eyes. That's one thing that I really enjoyed about this moment is how much she didn't give a shit about Corey coming in. She was like, fuck you, you're just a little wimp. But then as soon as she knows it's Myers and Myers is back, you can see how terrified she is.
It's a shift.
Yeah, it's a complete shift. And that was cool. And it was done so subtly that I couldn't help but love it.
No, I liked it, and I liked the fact that the pinning of the hands to the island in the kitchen, and then the pushing of the fridge freezer on top of him so he can't move, and then she slits his throat, and then he pries his hand free, just splits his hand in two, and he's holding her throat, and she's going, "Do it." I thought she was done. I thought it was both of them going to die there and then. And Alison walks in, and Alison also has incredible strength as she snapped Maya's arm like a twig.
Before she did that, though, what did you think to Laurie getting stabbed in the neck in the face with the knitting needle in exactly the same way Myers did in the first? I thought that was a little too on the nose.
Yeah, I thought it was a bit too far.
Because it's one thing Green does religiously is he just can't help but draw inspiration from every other film, and I was so sick of the homages by this point. I'll be honest with you. 18 was great, but we've done it now. We've done it. I didn't need it again, and it compromised that scene a little bit for me, because as soon as she did it and she picked it up, I was like, oh God, here we go. I know exactly how this is going to end.
Well, they also reference it earlier in the film. Like somebody's like, did she really do that with they reference it. That's like the second time it comes up.
Yeah, she's on about stabbing him in the neck with a knitting needle, and then she gets stabbed in the exact same place that she stabbed him, and I was just like, really?
Yeah, and they slit his wrist and he bleeds out. They then drag him out, stick him on top of a car, parade him through the town as everyone from the town gathers around and follows. They take him to the scrapyard where they put him into the big meat, I don't know, it's not even a meat, big metal grinder. And we see him go through, and this effect is pretty cool. He's 100%, he is dead. And I was happy with that ending. And then they go and fuck it all up again with a Laurie Strode overtone where she's explaining that evil never really dies. It just changes shape.
Yeah.
You see a shot of Hawkins and Laurie, they're going to get together now. The final shot of the movie is on Laurie's desk, Michael Myers' mask, and they start playing Don't Fear the Reaper by Blue Oyster Cult, the song that played in the car in 1978.
I just don't know where to go with this ending. So the thing is, well, that really makes me curious is the fact that when they did the test screenings, the test audiences, there's two different versions to this film. And I would love to know if there is a version where Michael wins and how that plays out.
That's their selling point for the Blu-ray.
It's got to be. Surely it's got to be. And I can't help but feel like it'll probably just be the exact same, apart from right at the very end before he goes into the meat grinder, he grabs Laurie's ankle and pulls her in with him. And then you get the same monologue, but it's just reading from the paperwork on her desk. She's not actually there and has a conversation with Frank. And Frank maybe goes up to her gravestone and takes a cherry blossom, sort of cringe like that.
Yeah.
But I think, but yeah, I think there is I think there's got to be a version out there somewhere where Myers wins, because I feel like they played this to test audiences and it didn't sit well. And I can only hope that it's a version where Myers wins and walks off into the sunset and Laurie dies.
Yeah, and we've all still got a fair bit to say on this, and there's no need to fear the Reaper, but there's definitely a fear for something that's coming next. Evil Audio is our newest quiz on the show. Today's movie ties so nicely into the past, I thought we should follow suit. So following the success on Horror Movie News, Angel, let's play Horror, Not Horror.
Wait, Master. It might be dangerous.
This is not a test. This is your emergency broadcast system.
Hello? Hello? Anybody home? Hey, think would fly.
Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
Oh shit, dude, I found a dildo!
The price is wrong, bitch.
The question is it horror? Or is it not horror?
I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
I am not Mr. Lebowski.
He slimed me.
So those of you who haven't listened before or have not heard this before, Horror Not Horror, 10 movie quotes that Angel has to tell us which one is a horror movie and which one isn't. 10 points for doing that, and an extra 10 points if Angel can tell us the movie. Mark, you're completely unaware this is happening. You're an Angel's team.
I had no idea what we was doing tonight.
You're an Angel's team, so you are working with Angel on this.
No, I didn't know I would have to play.
Yeah, you're assistants. Angel's playing, but you're there for support if Angel needs it.
Oh, backup. Okay, that's fine.
Also, this is the start of us giving the listeners a new way to control the show. So every week now on my Instagram stories, there'll be a poll that goes up where you get to choose what quiz the next guest takes, whether they take on Evil Audio, Horror Not Horror, Save Me, or The Unbeaten Broken Spirit. You decide what our guests will face every week.
That'll be interesting. I'd love to know what's regularly picked.
Yeah.
And I'd love to know if it changes depending on guest as well.
Yeah,
I think it will.
If there's a guest people don't like, 100% they get a broken spirit.
Oh, that could seriously damage someone's ego.
It definitely could. Now, let's do it. So, 10 movie quotes. Marc and Angel. It's Angel with Marc's assistant if she needs it. If you don't need Marc, he can sit there being quiet.
I will quite happily sit here being quiet unless called upon.
So, number 1. You tempted and you provoked that man when you should have left him alone.
A horror.
It is a horror. Do you know what movie it is?
Halloween Ends.
It is Halloween Ends. 20 points. Number 2. Death has come to your little town, Sheriff.
Is this a trick quiz?
No, it's not a trick quiz.
Death has come to your little town, Sheriff.
I'm beginning to understand why you've put me on the sideline as assistant here.
Is that another Halloween movie? I know it's horror.
It is horror.
I don't think I know the movie though.
Marc 100% does.
Which one is it? The first one? Is that what you're pointing to? There's like a glare. Okay. I figured it was a Halloween movie, but I didn't remember which one.
Yeah,
it is the original.
It is the original, so that's another 20 points. You're on 40 points. We toys can see everything.
That's Toy Story. That's not horror.
It is another 20 points. Well done.
I love Toy Story.
I was even doubting that then. I was like,
he spins his little head. I know the whole thing. I tell my kid he has to be nice to his toys or they'll come alive and yeah.
Okay, number 4. Restraint is not my strength. I can resist a taste. I consider it a tip.
What vampire movie is that?
Restraint is not my strength. I can't resist a taste. I consider it a tip.
Oh, I know that one.
Is it horror or not horror, first of all?
I think it's horror.
It is horror.
Is it a vampire movie? Am I close?
I'm not going to give you any assistance because you should know it.
I should know it?
Yeah.
Oh my god, I do know it. What is it? I don't know that. I can't remember what movie that's from.
Okay. It was from The Monster Project.
Fuck! Ah!
Your favourite found footage movie?
It is my favourite found footage movie.
So you're now on 20, 40, 60, 70 points. So number 5. I'm sorry, Colonel. I meant to shoot you. Sadly, I'm not quite the marksman I used to be. I must be getting old.
I know that one too, but I don't remember what it's from. Oh.
Do you think it's
one of? But in this one, you still get to go.
Yeah. Do you think it's a horror or not a horror?
I think it's not horror.
I don't think it's horror.
It was
it's horror.
It was.
What was it?
It was from The Wolfman, 2010.
Fuck! You know what I was thinking in my head? This is not going to help me look any better. But you know what I was thinking in my head? I was like, it was the Pirates of the Caribbean close.
No, it wasn't.
I thought it was Wild Wild West.
Yeah, I was
like... So number 6. First thing I'm going to do is bite every one of these little fingers off, one at a time.
Bite one of these little fingers off.
The first thing I'm going to do is bite off every one of these little fingers, one at a time.
Horror? No, not horror. Mark said no. Okay, I'm going to say not horror, but I don't know what movie it is. Do you know what movie it is, Mark?
I think it's Home Alone.
It is Home Alone.
Yeah! It's when Marv gets him and he hangs him on the back of the door.
That's correct, yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Right, number 7. I'm not wearing this. It's too small and my tits keep popping out.
Do you know this one, Mark?
I think I know, but I'd be honest with you, it'd be a complete guess. And if I was going to go anything, I would say horror. And I think it's Trick or Treat, but I can't remember if it is or not. I think it is. I think it's when they're all getting dressed and they're all on about getting ready for the.
Is this before the werewolf thing?
Yeah, it's the werewolf girls. Okay. But that is completely a stab in the dark. That's just where my mind went to straight away. So I don't actually know if that's correct or not.
What do you want to do, Angel? Go with what Mark said?
Yeah, I'll go with what Mark said.
Who's correct? Another 20 points. Got the movie and the scene. Okay, number 8. Oh, hush. Everything's all right. Frank's here.
Frank?
Yeah.
Oh, horror?
Yeah.
This one's making me angry. I know this one.
You should know this one.
Hush
now. Everything's all right. Frank's here.
Come to Daddy.
Is that aimed at me?
What's the movie, Mark?
It's Hellraiser.
It is Hellraiser. That's another 20 points. Okay. It doesn't... No, that is in our intro for the entirety of next season. Come to Daddy.
No one can see how red my face is. Okay.
That's a line from the film, by the way. That wasn't me saying that to you to come for the answer.
Thank you very much for the clarity, Mark.
Number 9. It doesn't matter if you win by an inch or by a mile.
Oh, that's it? It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter if you win by an inch or a mile.
I know this.
Is it not horror, Mark?
It's not horror.
Okay. I don't think I know the movie though. Or if I do, I don't remember it.
Think family. Think family. Memes about family that went on for like the past 2 years or 3 years.
About family?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Fast and Furious?
It is the Fast and the Furious. Another 20 points.
No way would I have known that. I'm not.
Oh, Mike, you don't remember that whole meme craze that went on about Vin Diesel saying family to everything? It was like the Avengers Age of Ultron thing.
I do
remember
like memes.
Vin Diesel would just bust out in his car and he'd be like, for family and stuff.
Number 10, final one. Well, I like to mix the meat. I make croquets for the guys at the station.
Horror?
Yeah.
I don't think I know the movie.
You do know the movie.
I do?
Yeah, you've 100%.
You've been right so far, huh?
I'd be a bit concerned if you didn't know this movie.
Well, I probably do, but that doesn't mean I remember the quote. Is it like a favorite of mine?
I don't know. You haven't given your score yet.
Oh.
Go on, Mark. Put her out of her misery.
What's the movie?
It's Halloween Ends.
I don't remember that line. When did they say
It's
that?
Frank. It's Frank. He's in the supermarket, and Laurie's on about the meat that he needs to eat. Vegetables.
I checked out during that scene. I didn't remember that. Okay.
So well done. You've scored 170 points, and you will now sit atop of the Horror Not Horror leaderboard as you beat Mark's score.
Oh, well, that's
not
fair.
Into some facts.
Facts.
There's some cool facts for this movie. So each installment of the trilogy was set 40 years after made 40 years after the original. So Halloween came out in 1978, H18 came out in 2018, Halloween 2, 1981, and Kills 2021, and H3 came out in 1982 with Halloween Ends coming out in 2022. Even though we saw Michael chipped up in a big metal grinder, he is 100% confirmed to not be dead. Jason Blum revealed this week that Malek Akkad had a clause written into the contract with Blumhouse that Michael is not allowed to die. I'm confused.
What?
He is not dead. It's in the contract. He didn't die. I don't get it.
No, I don't get it either. Bullshit. I'm calling bullshit on that.
Yeah, no, that's Jason Blum. That is a clause in the contract. Michael cannot die.
Yeah, but that was a clause in the old contract with. That's the only reason he came back after H20.
Yeah.
was because they weren't allowed to. And Jamie Lee Curtis was like, I'm only doing the film if I can kill him. So they did that. But even though she was contracted to come back for a second one, they did the turncoat at the beginning.
Yeah.
So they sneakily got her as well.
Despite what Mark will tell you, David Gordon Green dialed back the nods to the past in this instalment as he wanted people to look ahead and not behind.
No.
I'm beginning to dislike this guy quite a bit, actually.
At the premiere, Daniel Harris beamed with joy, saying now is the time for her to return as more films are already in discussion. And finally, Jamie Lee Curtis has confirmed this will be her last time ever playing Laurie Strode, a claim that she made after Halloween 2, after Halloween 20, and after Halloween Resurrection. I'm confident she's going to be back one more time.
I don't think so.
Do you know?
No, I don't think she'll come back. I don't think she'll come back at all now.
I
think
hope
she's
not.
pleased. She was so heavily involved in this trilogy in terms of writing, direction, all the rest of it. She was a big factor in this. And I feel like she's got the story she wanted for her character. And I think she'd be quite happy to put that to bed now.
Yeah, I'd like to see her not come back.
I don't want to. She's not my favourite in the storyline of the Halloween franchise anyway.
Yours has got to be Daniel Harris.
Yeah, I'm a Jamie fan. I'm a Jamie Arc. That's my favourite Halloween. I would love to see that be taken in a better direction than rehash Laurie Strode again.
No,
it's a tired thing now.
Season of the Witch is the way to go.
To be honest, I'm not really that.
Don't make that face.
No, not against Season of the Witch. I just mean in general. I think this just needs putting to bed for a little bit now.
I will say this. So when I first saw this, I was like, ugh, at the end of it. But I saw it the night that it came out and I rewatched it yesterday. I rewatched Season of the Witch for the first time in a long time on Friday. And there's something about rewatching that made me like this a little bit more than I did before I rewatched Season of the Witch.
Really?
Did anyone spot in the supermarket there was some toys on the shelf with the Silver Shamrock logo?
I was looking for it. I was looking for that stuff. I really, and I never see stuff like that. I always miss it. But yeah, I saw.
I was really excited. I'd done this kind of bounce up and down to my seat, but oh.
I know, and I had that like 3 more days till Halloween. That stupid ass song like stuck in my head for the last 3 days. I love it. No, Season of the Witch is one of my favorites. I love that one. So I was excited that this one was a little bit, like kind of all over the place with it, like that one was.
Yeah, I liked that. There's lots of ways you can support the show, and we give them all to you for free. We don't hide behind a Patreon wall for anything, which I think maybe we should, but we don't. So tell a friend. Review us on Apple or Spotify, share something on social media, buy something from our shop, or get your own personalised podcast for £50 and we will record any movie you want, review it. You can come on as guest. You can request a guest from the past. If we can get them, we'll have them on. Have whatever movie you want and we'll record it and send it to you and you can give it as a Christmas gift or just have it for yourself. Whatever you want. Very, very lovely. And yeah, all that kind of stuff. There's no Patreon for anything we do. You get to pick the movies. You get to do it all. And all we ask is that you do one of those few things to support us, whatever it is that you decide.
Zoinks! 3-word reviews, man!
Now, I knew 3-word reviews was going to be an absolute fucking disaster for this episode. So what I'd done is I decided that TikTok and Twitter weren't allowed to play this week, and I gave it just to Instagram, thinking that would ease the pressure. I was very, very wrong.
Nobody. I think there was maybe 1 or 2 comments that managed to contain this to 3 words.
Yeah, there was lots of
everyone just went on a rampage this week.
So we've got Skellington Fan. What was that? Mark Loves Horror. Ending that failed. Ethan 0327. Steaming Shitstorm. JC Thickworth, disrespectful to fans. Jason Vortees, brilliantly different approach. And hey, Internet, Eric here, better than 2018. And then finally, not a 3-word review, but I'm going to put it in there. We had Michael Myers cosplay. Dear Lord, am I the only person who really likes this? And no, you're not the only person who really likes this. I really liked this. I love the change in shift and tone and direction. I love the fact that evil can be anyone or anywhere. The removal of Miles as the main threat throughout was fabulous. the strong hints of the radio tower and the odd silver shamrock logo I thought was brilliant. It failed to deliver what I wanted it to deliver with that, but it was still there. Kills are great, loads of good variety. It's definitely going to divide fans. This sits up there with Halloween 3 and Resurrection as to how much it will split people's opinion. It wasn't perfect, but for me, it was an overall fitting end to the franchise. It's a 9 out of 10.
Wow, that's high. Very high.
Mark, where are you with it?
Oh, it's a difficult one because for what it is as this film on its own, I can't lie. I actually liked it. Like, I enjoyed everything it did. I liked the new direction it took. I thought the casting was phenomenal. I thought the cinematography was great, barring a few little unnecessary things with the flashback scenes that just felt out of place.
I'm going to make it easier for you. You're only scoring this movie, not where it sits, just this movie.
Yeah, no, don't worry, that's fine. I've lost my flow now. I've lost my flow. I was on one then, dropping bars, and I don't know where I was.
You were just saying that you loved everything apart from a bit of dodgy cinematography.
Yeah, the score, I thought this was another impressive score by Carpenter and co. Different to what we'd had previously. But again, there's some things in here that are not going to sit well with a lot of people. But in time, I think this is going to be a film that's going to be looked back upon and be like, actually, you know what? That's not that bad. I get the hate for it, but I also get the love for it. If anything, I think this film has only made me hate Halloween Kills even more, because for me, this would be a much better overall production if you had Halloween 2018 at the beginning of Kills, where he breaks out from the fire and kills the fireman and then walks off into the woods, and that was the end of Halloween 2018. You lose all that bullshit with Kills, and then we pick back up with this film, and you just have the two next to each other. I think that would work a lot better, because everything that was introduced in Kills with Lindsay Wallace, none of it comes back into play here. It just doesn't work. And there's stuff in Kills that is not answered here. Like, they spend so much time talking about why he goes and looks out of his sister's bedroom window, and it's the main focus of that film, and it just seems to be forgotten. There just seems so much that has been lost. And I know this was done during the pandemic, and it was supposed to continue on, and all three films were going to be contained within in one night. They should have just stuck with that. It didn't need to have that gap in between. They could have still filmed it all 4 years later and had it continue on the same night. It would have made no difference. So I feel this film's lost in the mistakes that have been made prior to it. And as a standalone film, I thought it was quite cool. I liked it a lot. I liked the direction they took with Myers, even though it's going to upset a lot of people. I wish they hadn't killed Corey. I wish he'd have gone on to be the next Myers. That would have worked quite well for me. There's a lot to love, but there's also a lot to hate. I need more time to process it, I think. I've seen it 3 times now, and I'm not liking it any more or any less each time I'm watching it. I think I might do all 3 together and see how that sits on Halloween. I think that might be this year's mission, is to do all 3 in one night and see how well they work as a collective. But as it stands right now, probably a 6 out of 10.
Wow.
It's not, I don't hate it, but it's not the fitting conclusion to the previous 2 films that I wanted. I liked it, but as a third act of a trilogy, it's not a third act of a trilogy.
Okay. Angel, where are you with it?
I feel like literally like they took like a bunch of ingredients with a lot of great potential, put them in a pot, stirred them up, and just like forgot about them. Every moment that I thought, okay, this is a cool concept, it ended. Okay, this is a cool concept, it ended. Every time, like every single time that I thought they were doing something cool and different, and it was going to take us into a newer version of this franchise, and I got excited about it, it fell flat. I was so pissed when Corey killed himself, like so pissed. It felt like all of that time that we like just spent this journey was for literally nothing. And to me, you know, as much as I liked parts of it, if they had just taken the last 20 minutes, put it at the end, had, you know, I don't know, shit, I'm losing my train of thoughts. I'm trying not to get frustrated. Okay. So first of all, I love Kills. I really like that one a lot. I really enjoyed it for what it was. It was very entertaining. But I think if what they had done was we get to see the daughter killed, okay, and then had this like a little bit of skip at the end of Kills or some kind of way to like move past that into the next part and just taken the last 20 minutes of Ends and put it at the end of Kills, that would have been perfect for me. Goodbye, we're done. But all of this buildup felt like it was for nothing. And I hated that. I felt like I invested in something that left me feeling super robbed. Like I didn't leave the experience going, okay, we're done with Michael Myers. I left feeling like I'm still waiting on the movie to come out. And I don't say that very often. I don't feel that way about, especially with franchises I'm not like super connected to. But this fell so flat for me. And I think that even given, you know, I rewatched Season of the Witch, which is one of my favorites. I would have loved for them to have just done the anthology route to begin with. I thought that would have been a really cool concept. I love anthologies. I had a little bit more appreciation for it. It still just was like, it just didn't give me anything that I wanted. And it just had so much fucking potential. And so for me, this is like a barely 5 out of 10.
Wow. You've got there's a real range of scores from us.
But it's such a ranging and diverse film, though. It's so hard to pin down what it is. And it, depending on which angle you look at it from, depends on how you're going to perceive it. It's like, if you look at it as a Michael Myers film, it's a fucking 2, 3 at best. If you look at it as a interesting new slasher with elements of Haddonfield surrounding it, you could probably bump it up to an 8 or a 9. But
I did. It's a 9.
Exactly. But that's my point. Is it's just, it really depends on which way you're going to approach this film. And I think I was quite thankful that I didn't watch this on release, because I was pumped to watch this on Friday, but I couldn't due to being at a wedding. So I had to listen to the backlash that was coming out on the internet. Everyone was like, this is shit. This is the worst Halloween film since Rob Zombie's 2. Liars. And then thankfully I had that time to digest that information and be like, right, just brace yourself, because this is going to be crap. And then I went in, and because I had such low expectations, I was pleasantly surprised by the approach they took. And I think that has been a big effect. If I'd have gone in knowing nothing, woke up Friday morning, went straight to the cinema, first screening, been one of the first people to see this film, I would have come out in a rage.
Yeah, I thought you were going to be in a rage.
But that's what I'm saying. But because I had that time to think, right, okay, it's not what you want it to be. It's not what Halloween fans are expecting it to be. Clear your mind, take a fresh approach with it, and see what comes out. And I did that, and I was pleasantly surprised by it. There was a lot of unique ideas here, but it was just so convoluted and mismatched that everything that was great and all the elements that were great about it just weren't executed well enough, in my opinion.
No follow through.
If you've not seen Halloween Ends yet, you can watch it in theatres worldwide, or if you're in the US, you can watch it on Peacock as well. Personally, I'd recommend a cinema trip for this. It's good on the big screen. We end the episode every week with
Sound off.
where listeners to the show get to have their voice heard. I put this out the last minute. Literally, this went out this morning because I knew that these are going to keep coming for weeks to come. And I just wanted to be able to cherry pick a few. So I picked one from each side of the coin. The crazy thing is, all I'd done was go, I really liked Halloween Ends. What did you think of it? That's literally all the video was. The first one I got first comment was Skellington fan. I fucking knew you were going to love it. I hated it. The Corey story could have been its own movie. It was supposed to be a showdown between Michael and Laurie. And what we got was exactly what we saw in the trailer. What a waste of a Halloween movie. And then on the other side of the coin is Horizon Illustrations. The more angry comments I read online, the more I realise the masses don't understand John Carpenter's original concept for the shape. David Gordon Green broke the mould, but also steered the ship back to original territory, bringing us back to the tale of simple, dark evil.
But there's nothing simple about this idea or premise. That is the problem. It had a basic premise and concept with Halloween 18 and Halloween Kills, and then it's now taken a load of different ideas and lost itself, and there is no simplicity to this film. That is the problem. There is no simplicity about it.
Yeah, it's a complicated bit. I enjoyed it. I know it's going to be so. This will be spoken about in 40 years' time, the same way that Halloween 3 is.
Yeah, I think time's going to be a healer. I think it's going to get a big following, and I think in time people will learn to appreciate it for what it is, as I do. But again, I don't know. I might wake up tomorrow and have a completely different feel towards it and feel robbed that I didn't get the film that I wanted.
Yeah, and who knows what's on the horizon? I know what's on the horizon. It's Event Horizon that's coming next week. Did you like that? That was very slick, wasn't it? I wrote that and everything. But before that, we have horror movie news out on Friday, where we give you a taste of what to expect at this year's For the Love of Horror. We're going to be talking about some of the guests, some of the after party, and also how to find and meet up with me, Mark, and Elise to get some freebies and interviews and other bits to be on the show on that special episode that comes after the event. Angel, thank you so much for joining us for this episode. I know it was all last minute to get you on. It was kind of, you were a surprise announced guest because we didn't know how Mark was going to, we didn't know if Mark would be in a position to be dealing with other people in the normal world apart from me.
I think I've handled this pretty well today.
You did. Mark liked it more than I did, I think. I didn't expect that at all.
Never did anybody else, I don't think.
One more thing before we go. I put a poll out today to ask the question that everyone's been dying was whether Mark loved it or he hated it. 54% say you would like it, and the rest said you would hate it. So I think they're about there.
They're about perfect, really, to be honest with you, because I do like it and hate it at the same time, as do a lot of people. It's so hard to pin down what it is. It really is at the moment. I need more time with this film, I think.
Yeah, I think we'll circle back to this towards the end of the year, and I'll just ask you for an update on your score.
Yeah, do that. So what did I just give it then? A 6?
6.
Yeah. I'm like I say, I'm going to give it. I've watched it 3 times already, but I think I do need to have all 3 in one go.
Well,
to see how they line
we'll
up.
get an update after Halloween then. After Halloween, you can give us an update. Angel, before we go, where can everyone find you and go and follow you and do all of your good stuff and like, subscribe, comment, all that kind of cool stuff?
Everywhere. I'm on YouTube, Voices from the Mausoleum. Twitter, I think, is @From Mausoleum. Instagram is Voices from the Mausoleum. TikTok is Voices FTM. Facebook, I think, is also Voices FTM. I'm on Letterboxd now, thanks to Mark.
Nice. Yes, you are.
I'm on everything, I think. I think that's everything.
Go and follow Angel. She pumps out so much content. We do this, we do news, we do true crime and YouTube, and we don't even scratch the surface in a month of what Angel pumps out in like 7 days.
It's a lot.
It's definitely a lot. Go and give her a follow. Go and give her subscribe to her channel. She's wonderful. I love having you on the show. Thank you for coming on again. Mark, time to say goodbye.
Cheers, guys. Thanks everyone for tuning in. We'll see you next week.
We will indeed. See you later.
Before we forget, you want to die tonight?
Hypochondriac with asthma is in there.
I just lose all sense of equilibrium and I don't know what's happening.
I'm going to say 9 out of 10. Always enjoy watching it every time.
Windmills were fire hazardous.
You literally used the paycheck to pay for a house. That's all it was for.
Meeting someone for the first time, you wouldn't be talking like that.
Because he was so stoned, he'd half fallen asleep.
You and Tasha are meant to be. Y'all figure that shit out.
I just got fired yesterday. I'm free.
I swear to God, I'm gonna stick that wolf up your asshole.